The man behind the camera has a name. Watch any episode. Phil sits on the couch and talks to the camera. Claire does it. The kids do it. Jay rolls his eyes at the camera. Gloria flirts with the camera. For 11 seasons, the show never told you who they were talking to. No crew, no interviewer, no mic in the shot. The camera just exists, and the family just talks to it. But the original pilot had an answer. His name was Geert Floortje, a Dutch filmmaker. As a teenager, he had lived with Jay's family as an exchange student. He had a crush on Claire. Mitchell had a crush on him. As an adult, he came back to film the family that once took him in. The show was going to be called My American Family. Then Christopher Lloyd and Stephen Levitan cut him before the pilot aired, said he was unnecessary. They kept the cameras. They erased the cameraman. So every confession Phil ever made, every secret Claire whispered, every joke Jay told the lens, all of it was meant for one specific person, a man who got deleted from his own show. The Dunphys have been talking to a ghost for 11 seasons, and nobody told you his name. Theory 1 of 20. The cameras get stranger from here. The whole show is a therapy session. Forget Geert. Some fans believe the cameras were never a documentary at all. The theory is simple. Jay Pritchett has money, Jay Pritchett has a complicated family, and Jay Pritchett hired a therapist to film all of them, separately and together, so somebody could finally figure out what was wrong with everyone. Watch the confessionals again with that in mind. They are not jokes for an audience. They are admissions. Phil reveals stuff he hides from Claire. Claire reveals stuff she hides from Phil. Mitchell talks about his father like a patient talks about childhood. Nobody confesses like that to a documentary crew. People confess like that to a therapist. The counter-argument? Claire takes Luke to an actual therapist in season 3 and Phil hates the idea, which is exactly what someone already in secret therapy would say. Theory 2. The camera is not a camera, it is a couch. Lily was replaced and the show never admitted it. In the first 2 seasons, Lily Tucker Pritchett was played by twin baby girls, Ella and Jaden Hiller. They were quiet, barely spoke, almost expressionless. Then season 3 happens. Lily walks back on screen. Different actress, Aubrey Anderson Emmons, older, louder, a completely different child. The show never explained it. Mitchell never mentioned it. Cam never mentioned it. Lily aged up overnight and the family acted like nothing happened. The producers' real reason? The Hiller twins did not enjoy acting. Their mother pulled them off the show. The writers had to scramble. But inside the world of Modern Family, Lily got swapped. The family moved on. Nobody asked questions. Some fans took that and built a darker theory. The original Lily is gone. Mitch and Cam do not talk about her because they cannot. The new Lily is a replacement they accepted out of grief. The show shows you the family. The family is not telling you everything. Nobody in the family knows they are being filmed. Now go darker. Watch any random scene. A 3 a.m. panic attack. A private hospital visit. A fight in a parked car. The camera is there. Always. No real documentary crew gets that kind of access. No human cameraman follows a family into the bathroom at sunrise. No production team sits in on a marriage falling apart at midnight. The theory says the family does not know. Somebody is filming them. Hidden cameras? Every room? Every hallway? Every car. The Dunphys think their lives are private. They are not. Somebody, somewhere, has been watching them for 11 years. The confessionals? Those are not interviews. Those are the moments each character looked into a mirror or a window or a screen and accidentally talked to whoever is on the other side. Theory 4. The Dunphys are the experiment. We are the lab. Alex is not Phil's biological daughter. Look at the Dunphy kids. Then look at Alex. Haley is Phil. Same warmth, same chaos, same heart. Luke is Phil too. Same goofy logic, same wild ideas, same Dunphy energy. Alex is something else. Cold logic, razor focus, a genius IQ that nobody else in that house comes close to. She does not look like Phil. She does not act like Phil. She does not laugh at Phil's jokes the way her siblings do. Some fans think Phil is not her father. The show drops hints. Claire was wild before Phil. She had a chaotic phase. Alex herself jokes early on that she figured she was adopted or switched at the hospital. Phil connects with Haley instantly. Phil connects with Luke instantly. With Alex, he is always one step behind, always trying. Maybe his instincts are right. Maybe his blood just is not in her. Gloria Pritchett is hiding a criminal past. Watch Gloria carefully across 11 seasons. She knows guns. She knows knives. She drops casual stories about her hometown that involve dead bodies, kidnappings, and men who simply disappeared. She mentions her first husband Javier like he is a fugitive. Her cousin shows up dressed like a cartel enforcer. Then Luke says something nobody talks about. He tries to look Gloria up online. He finds nothing. No photos, no records, no school, no job. A woman this loud, this beautiful, this present. And the internet has zero proof she ever existed before America. Some fans think the answer is simple. Gloria is living under a fake name. She did something in Colombia she had to run from. Marrying Jay, an older man with money, was not romance. It was cover. Behind the smile is a woman who used to be somebody else. Manny wrote the whole show. Manny Delgado is 10 years old. He wears suits. He writes poems. He drinks espresso. He is convinced he is going to grow up and be a famous writer one day. Some fans think he already did. The theory says the entire show is Manny's screenplay. A young boy stuck with a single mother who married a rich older man sits down and invents an entire fictional family around them. The Dunphys, the Pritchetts, Mitchell, and Cam. He writes the version of his life he wishes he had. Loud, chaotic, full of love, full of people who never leave. That is why everyone in the show feels so warm, so forgiving, so perfectly written. They are not real. They are how a lonely kid imagines family is supposed to feel. The whole show is one boy's daydream, and we have been living inside it. Jay Pritchett is Al Bundy in hiding. This one starts with a question. Why does Ed O'Neill, the actor who played the most miserable husband in TV history, suddenly show up in the most loving family on television? Some fans think the answer is on screen. Jay Pritchett is Al Bundy. He faked his death. He left Peggy and the kids in Chicago. He moved to California, started a closet business, and married a younger Colombian woman. Exactly the kind of life Al used to dream about while crashing on his couch. The proof? In Season 4, David Faustino, the actor who played Al's son Bud Bundy, shows up on Modern Family as Tater, a man who was hopelessly in love with Claire in high school. A man Claire never quite remembers correctly. Same actor, same family, different name, different show. Jay did not get a second life. He stole one. Quick pause. If this is the kind of breakdown you came here for, hit subscribe. It costs nothing. It tells me to keep digging. Back to the Pritchetts. Dylan is hiding how smart he actually is. Dylan Marshall looks like the dumbest person on this show. Then watch what he actually does. He writes original songs, real song, with chord progressions. He gets into nursing school and finishes it. He becomes a working medical professional. When Haley panics about being pregnant, Dylan is the calm one. When Haley is about to make a huge mistake and skip college, Dylan is the one who pushes her toward the acceptance letter she did not want to read. He breaks up with Haley before she breaks up with him, because he reads the room before she even speaks. Some fans notice the pattern. Dylan is not stupid. Dylan is performing stupid. The theory is that Dylan figured out early that being smart around the Dunphys is dangerous. Claire judges, Phil compares, Alex condescends. So Dylan turned down his volume. He plays dumb because being dumb is the safest version of himself near them. Claire is just a younger version of Jay. Claire calls herself a Dunphy. The behavior says otherwise. Watch how she runs her house. Rules, schedules, order. She corrects everyone. She controls everyone. She gets sharp the second something goes off plan. Now watch Jay. Same energy, same need for control. Same sharp tongue when somebody slows him down. The man built an empire selling closets. Small spaces, neatly organized, everything in its place. Claire runs her family the same way. The theory is simple. Claire did not marry into Phil's chaos to escape her father. She married into it because she needed Phil's softness to balance the part of her that is pure Jay. Phil is the only thing standing between Claire and full-blown Pritchett mode. Take Phil out of the picture and Claire becomes her dad. Same temper, same coldness, same need to fix everyone around her. Gil Thorpe was in love with Phil the whole time. Gil Thorpe spent years tormenting Phil Dunphy. Every real estate deal, every open house, every chance to humiliate him in public. Phil could never figure out why. Then later in the show, Gil comes out as gay. Suddenly the bullying makes sense. The way he stood too close, the way he hit too hard on the back, the way he found reasons to keep showing up in Phil's life year after year, even when there was no business reason to. That was not a rivalry. That was a man who never learned how to flirt with somebody he could not have. Phil is warm. Phil is good-looking. Phil is married to Claire. Gil targeted him for years because Gil could not handle what he actually felt. The bully was never a bully. The bully had a crush. Andre is not real. Season 3. Phil is lonely. He needs a friend his own age. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a perfect new neighbor appears. His name is Andre. He is funny. He is kind. He is played by Kevin Hart. Watch the scenes carefully. Almost nobody else interacts with Andre. Phil is alone when Andre shows up. Phil is in a low moment. Andre arrives like a gift. He says exactly what Phil needs to hear. He vanishes between episodes. The theory is that Andre is not a neighbor. He is not real. He is a coping mechanism. A friend Phil's brain invented during a stretch where he felt invisible to his own family. Phil makes Cam a friend. Phil makes Mitchell a friend. But the friend Phil really needed, somebody just for him, that one had to be built from scratch. Phil accidentally killed his grandfather. This is not really a theory. The show told you. Most people just missed it. Phil tells a sweet story about his grandpa. They were close. One afternoon, Phil had a cold. He shared an ice cream cone with the old man. They laughed. They licked the same scoop. A week later, his grandfather was dead. Phil tells this story like it is a happy memory. He thinks his grandpa just got sick. The audience sees what Phil refuses to see. Watch Claire's face during the story. She figures it out in real time. She looks horrified. Phil gave his grandfather the cold that killed him. He has never realized it. He is going to die never realizing. The funniest man on television has been carrying a secret tragedy for 40 years. He just does not know it is his. DEDE Pritchett is cursing her own family. Watch what happens every single time DEDE shows up. Mitchell and Cam's wedding nearly falls apart. Jay and Gloria's marriage gets tested. Claire ends up screaming. Phil ends up apologizing. Mitchell ends up crying. Manny gets caught in the middle. DEDE is not just a chaotic mom. She is a storm system. She arrives, ruins something specific, and disappears. In one early episode, DEDE literally yells a curse at Jay and Gloria during their wedding ceremony. The show plays it as comedy. Watch the next 8 seasons of their marriage and ask if it actually was. Then in the final season, DEDE dies. And only after she is gone do things in the family start truly settling. The theory is simple. DEDE is not a punchline. She is the witch in the family tree. Every family has one. The Pritchetts just refuse to name her. Tommy Taffy has the whole family hostage. This one comes from the dark corners of Reddit. It is going to sound crazy. The evidence is going to make it less crazy. The theory is that the Dunphys, the Pritchetts, and Mitchell and Cam are all being held captive, not by a kidnapper, by something else, a supernatural entity called Tommy Taffy. Every confessional in the show is the family being forced to recount their day. They are not talking to a documentary crew. They are reporting to whatever has them trapped. Watch Phil's face during confessionals. Watch how often he glances just past the camera. Watch how the family tone gets weirdly performative when they think they are alone. Like they are auditioning. The smiles are real. The fear underneath the smiles is real too. Tommy Taffy is in the room, and nobody is allowed to say his name out loud. Claire dated Phil's childhood bully. Claire once told Phil a story. She lost her virginity in a sports car to a high school boyfriend named Todd. Phil told a different story years later. His first real bully was a guy named Todd. Drove the same kind of sports car. Made Phil's high school years miserable. Same name, same car, same time period. The theory is that Claire was dating Phil's bully. Maybe she did not know who Todd really was. Maybe she did know, and she sat in the passenger seat while Todd ripped Phil apart at school. Phil never connected the dots. Phil is too kind to want to connect them, but the audience can. The woman Phil married once belonged to the man who broke him. The cool dad spent his whole adult life in love with a woman tied to the worst years of his life. He never figured it out. The writers abandoned half the family's biggest dreams. Modern Family had 11 seasons to finish what it started. It did not. Phil spent years chasing one dream, Dunphy Tower, a skyscraper with his name on it. The show built up the storyline for seasons. Then one episode, it was just gone. The land became a parking lot. Phil never mentioned it again. Luke had a real shot at something, a medical device startup. The show framed him as the next big thing. Then suddenly the writers shipped him off to college and the business disappeared. Haley had a successful photography blog, followers, sponsors, a real career. The show forgot it existed by the next season. The theory is not that the writers got lazy. The theory is darker. Each abandoned dream is the show telling you the truth. The Dunphys are people who almost succeed and never do. Mitchell came out to his father 3 times. This one comes straight from the show. The audience laughed. Nobody stopped to feel it. In the episode 15%, Mitchell admits something. He had to come out to Jay 3 separate times before his father actually accepted he was gay. 3 times. Stop and picture that. Mitchell, terrified, builds the courage to tell his dad who he is. Jay does not hear him. Mitchell has to do it again. Jay still does not accept it. Mitchell has to do it a 3rd time. The show plays it as a one-line joke. The truth underneath is brutal. Years of pretending, years of rehearsing, years of preparing to be rejected by the man who was supposed to love him without conditions. This is why Mitchell is so tightly wound, so controlled, so afraid of being seen wrong. His father did not just take time to accept him. His father made him beg. The future Dunphys episode was a warning. Season 4, 1 episode. Future Dunphys. Phil and Claire have a vision. They see their kids 20 years later. Haley is a sad single mom. Alex is a lonely, bitter academic surrounded by cats. Luke is a grown man still living at home, still wearing the same hoodie, still figuring nothing out. The episode plays like a joke. The theory says it was a warning shot. Watch the rest of the show after that episode. Every choice the Dunphy kids make starts steering them away from those futures. Haley fights to be a real mother. Alex pushes herself toward connection, not isolation. Luke slowly grows up. The writers showed you the worst-case version of the Dunphy kids on purpose. Then they spent the next 7 seasons making sure none of it came true. The future they avoided was the one Phil and Claire were terrified of. Frank Dunphy's death is what the show was always about. Final season. An episode called Legacy. Phil flies to Florida to see his father, Frank. They do not do much. They eat, they walk, they sit on a couch. Phil leaves. A few days later, Frank is dead. Phil tells the camera it might have been one of the best days he ever had with his dad. He just did not know it would be the last. Here is the part nobody talks about. Fred Willard, the actor who played Frank, died in real life shortly after filming that episode. So that was not just Phil saying goodbye to a TV character. That was Ty Burrell saying goodbye to a man he loved. On camera, for real. The show pretended to be a comedy for 11 seasons. The truth was always quieter. It was about the time you have left with the people who raised you. 20 theories, all sitting inside a show you thought was just a comedy. Now go back to Theory 1. The Dutch filmmaker the show erased. Geert Floortje. The man with a name nobody on screen ever said. He was supposed to be the reason the family let cameras into their lives. Without him, the cameras have no reason to be there. So pick a theory. Maybe Tommy Taffy is in the room. Maybe Manny wrote it all from his bedroom. Maybe Phil never came home. Maybe an adult Luke is the one piecing the footage together years later, trying to understand the family that raised him. Drop your favorite in the comments. Tell me which one cracked the show open for you. I read every comment. Go back and watch the pilot tonight. This time, do not watch the family, watch the camera. Watch where it lingers. Watch what it lets you see. You are going to notice things you missed.